The suspected D.C. shooter, Ramanullah Zakanwal, was part of a Zero unit in Afghanistan, elite militias backed by the CIA. So let's take a closer look about what we know about these groups. First, these Zero units that were recruited by the CIA that are operating for specific elite counterterrorism units and missions come in this southern Afghanistan area, Kandahar being some of the fiercest fighting, Helmand province, Uruzgan. This is where Lochinwall is not only born and raised, but this is where he was stationed. His unit was out of the Kandahar region. Now let's talk about Lochinwall's vetting process. He did get
Okay, guys. In case you guys haven't heard the news or haven't seen any clips of it, two National Guard members were shot. One was killed. Her name was Sarah Beckstrom. So I do want to start this video by saying, my condolences to her family, and we definitely appreciated both of their services. It's a very, very tough job. They were in the streets of DC, just trying to bring some normalcy to DC for the people of DC. And, they were ambushed by this individual. And now they're doing a deeper dive into him and his origins and, you know, his background, and trying to see where this individual's name is Lochinwall, last name Lochinwall, trying to piece it together and try to make some sense of what brought him to do this ambush. Um, they say he come from Afghanistan, so first thing that comes to your mind is is this an act of terror? Um, and what brought this act on? Was he like they were saying, was he sitting waiting for the perfect opportunity? Um, was he over here trying to live a better life, but end up, somehow being radicalized to do this? So, it's a lot of questions, and, we're just waiting for answers to all this. But in the meantime, they're going to do a deep dive. So I'm going to just let the video play to get some more information.
some vetting. We had biometric screening. CIA did biographic checks on interagency watch lists. The CIA looked to see if he had connections to any terrorist groups, and he had in-person interviews. So there was some vetting, but let's talk about his actual unit. He was assigned to NDS 03. That's a National Directorate of Security, which is Afghanistan's CIA, if you will, intelligence service. He was working for that when he was recruited and trained by the CIA to fight against the Taliban. But these units were operating outside the chain of command of U.S. and Afghan forces. That's significant. That suggests he may have seen some significant fighting in missions, because these Zero units are known for their brutality. Some called them death squads. Let's bring in now Laura Burns, head of terrorism research program on extremism at George Washington University and former FBI supervisory special agent. Laura, we're learning a lot more about Lochinwall and the fact that he's part of this Zero unit, but yet we're also looking into how he makes it across the country to carry out this ambush. What are your thoughts this morning?
Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to be here. I appreciate it. Yes, this Mr. Lochinwall's pathway from Washington to D.C., it raises some interesting questions, right? Questions like, was Mr. Lochinwall already radicalized before he migrated to the United States? Did he come here with the intent to commit an act of terrorism when he found the opportunity? Or rather, did he migrate here with good intentions and for some reason become disaffected with society or fail to assimilate, and then self-radicalize and then decide to mobilize with a target of opportunity? I think that as the investigation proceeds, FBI Director Kash Patel has said that they are looking at this as an act of terrorism, that facts will become available and help us determine exactly what his radicalization process was.
You know, Laura, FBI Director Kash Patel talked a little bit about Lochinwall's relationship with Afghanistan partner forces. Listen here.
There is confirmation now that the subject had a relationship in Afghanistan with partner forces. This individual is in this country for one reason and one reason alone: because of the disastrous withdrawal from the Biden administration and the failure to vet in any way, shape, or form, this individual and countless others. And this administration has taken the rightful step to stop any further allowance of people with this similar background into the country.
So, Laura, clearly Lockenwall ends up here because of.
So, I'm not sure if you guys remember, like, either a year or a few years ago when they were withdrawing from Afghanistan, and it was this big thing at the airports where they were just letting people out and getting on planes, and just like the withdrawal, and man, it was a crazy scene, and these are the type of people who were able to sneak in amongst innocent people um and find themselves over here in America. And a lot of people don't like Trump and what Trump is doing, but Trump has a hard job because he's literally trying to fix a lot of like open door policies that the Biden administration just really turned a blind eye to. They literally just let any and everyone just come across our borders. And it's just like nobody really, everyone that is opposed to Trump, they never really want to talk about that aspect of it. Like they never really want to talk about the fact that, the Biden administration literally allowed any and everyone to come over here. So you may have people that's amongst you right now who, as they were saying, were fighting, in death squads that wasn't under any command. So, they could be as lethal and as deadly as they wanted to in order to, defeat terror groups and stuff like that. And when man, if you never watched a documentary or anything on war, you might want to, because you need to understand like there's no rules of engagement when it comes to like war. It's you versus them, and you really trying to kill them before they kill you by any means necessary. So e- e- everything falls under that. So this individual, it ain't no telling. It's no telling how many bodies this individual has had, and when you go through something like that, it does leave a mark on you. You know, uh, I don't have to be in the military or have been in combat to know that it leaves a mark on you. You can watch some of the footage of, some of these things and see bombs going off, missiles getting shot at you, bullets flying from every direction. And, it's going to leave a lasting mark. You know, been through situations where bullets is flying, you don't know where they're coming from, you don't know where they're going, you hear them going through the air, and the only thing you can do is just hope and pray that you're not going to get hit by one of those bullets. So definitely the ball was dropped, man. The ball had been dropped, and there's no telling how many others are within the country, and you know yeah, hopefully, man, there's not any other attacks, but everyone has to stay vigilant, especially like our National Guard members or military members, and even citizens. We just have to just stay vigilant as best you can. But they were ambushed, so they didn't even see this coming. Get a little bit of different perspective here from this next video.
President Trump vowing an immigration crackdown after the attack in D.C. Dana Marie McNichol is live in West Palm Beach, Florida, with the latest there. Dana Marie, to you.
Hi, Molly. Good morning. Last night, President Trump spent the evening speaking with service members, thanking them, but he also took a lot of time to point out his issues with the vetting process of migrants that took place during the Biden administration, especially after learning the suspect who shot those two National Guardsmen was from Afghanistan.
I have a picture of a plane. This is what it looked like when they came in. It was total bedlam. Do you remember that period of time? Total bedlam. People crammed onto the plane. This heinous atrocity reminds us that we have no greater national security priority than ensuring that we have full control over the people that enter and remain in our country.
After the call, the president announced on Truth Social that he is permanently pausing migration from all third world countries to allow the U.S. system to fully recover. He also said the U.S. would stop all federal benefits and subsidies to non-citizens and also deneutralize migrants who undermine domestic tranquility.
What's crazy to me is that people that are non-citizens are able to come over here and able to get the same type of government assistance that people who live here are able to get. And and in my opinion, that takes away from those who may be really be in need. Um, Hopefully, Trump is able to accomplish this and it stays true because, we do need time to recover and make sure, we find, folks who are, from third world countries who may not be here with the greatest intention and, make sure, we get them up out of the United States. Um, we have to protect our homeland. That's just a fact. I really don't care what anyone says or thinks as far as my opinion on that. I've born in America, lived in America all my life, and um, we have to protect our homeland. We can't allow our homeland to be overran by people who come into the country, and then a lot of them don't have the greatest intentions. Now, if you're coming in the country and you're trying to do better for yourself, create businesses, provide for your family, um, and not commit acts of terror, um, bringing harm and killing our service members and our citizens, and you go through the process the way you're supposed to be, welcome to America. But you know, bad actors, man, y'all got to go. And thankfully we have Trump in office to also see that same thing. And because I remember that, man. I remember planes were leaving out of Afghanistan. It was just like a free for all. It was literally a free for all. Whoever could fit into those military planes or planes that were leaving that airport, they were just putting them in. And that was the perfect time for them to get their seeds or their terrorist cells, people who may have already been radicalized or potentially capable of being radicalized onto those planes and right over here to the United States of America. And then they knew Biden's policies and administration was not going to be very tough on people coming in and vet them effectively and things like that. So, oh man, this is damn sure horrible. Um, I see they were calling for, like, certain lawmakers are calling for the death penalty for the suspect. And you killed one of our service members, man. And you have a crazy history as far as you've been trained by our CIA. And so you have some smarts to you. You definitely know how to use your weaponry and stuff like that. So at the end of the day, you should have known better than to come over here to the United States and definitely kill one of our own and injure another. So we'll see what becomes of this, and I'm definitely going to keep my eyes and ears open to this and keep everyone updated. Again, if you like my content, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. This is Justin Paul. Peace.